right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Millis, Massachusetts, Ryan's Family Amusement, Outrun the Bear 2023 handicap event. We are down to our final 7 right now. Chris Waterman's with me here. He's been with your coverage all day. Chris, been a great day for bowling.
Yes, it has been. A lot of high scores today.
Yeah, speaking of high scores, the cut to get into this round was 149 with handicap. There were some great games there. Top, I think, was Brian Heffernan with his 145, I think it was.
Yes.
It was a lot of great bowling. The pins are getting loose, so it's going to be an interesting final here. Get some names. As we get closer, we're going to have the scores along the bottom once we get, because after this round, it'll drop down to 3 or 4, depending on the one buyback remaining, if they get eliminated or not. If they're still in it, it'll be 3 bowlers next round. So it's going to be at least one more round, potentially 2. We'll see what happens after this one.
Interesting point. Chris McDonough, who is now eliminated, set the new house record with a 459, 5 pins over the old house record.
Yeah, he couldn't miss earlier. He had a 168 game, 169 game, something up there. So he got the, as of right now, high single with scratch and handicap, I believe.
Correct. 169 with scratch, 185 with handicap. And we have Kendrick Payne with the lone claim on this triple strike pool.
Yeah, unless something happens here in these last couple rounds. Kendrick, he started it. That was the very first game. His first 5 boxes, he threw strike, 8 box, strike, strike, strike.
Yes, he did.
With the bang right next to me too, so it had a little pressure. Let us know in the chat if you can make sure we're hearing okay. Anything you need to change site-wise. Looks like everything's going smooth here. Want to make sure we're set for the finals, which is why we're focused on 19 and 20, which is where the primary lanes for the finals will be. And we'll be able to keep the scores for you as those go, so everybody at home can follow along.
To prove to the point that scores were high today, Josh Daly, who was eliminated last round, was carrying a 130 average.
Yeah, Josh was throwing a good ball. Unfortunately, he threw 122 that last game. With the cut so high and his average so high, that's the beauty of a handicap tournament. You never know who's going to be at the top. So the averages for the bowlers that are remaining range from 95 to 114. So, I'm sorry, 115 is Mike Nardone. So if you're a lower average bowler that doesn't think they can compete here, handicap tournament, this is one of the best. So sign up quick because it fills up fast. I believe that's Jim Nestor all the way on 20. Great 9 drop there. Right on it for the spare.
Is there anything more American software to make America great again?
If Phil Clough was in the finals, that's what it would be. That would be it. Absolutely. Say Brian Heffernan just wandered over here. He just came off a nice 145 game last round. Top of the class for that round. Hoping to replicate it here. Chris has the nice monitor for this.
Yeah, I stole it for 45% off when it was on sale.
That's what we are all about, the discounts here at Candlepin Corner. We make sure we are frugal with our money. Thank you for the 19 of you joining us right now. Again, live here, Ryan's Family Amusement, Millis. Once we get to the end of this round, while they sort it out, we'll throw up the sponsorship again because the sponsors help make this tournament a $2,500 first prize. $2,500 first prize for this. Top 8 cashed, and 8 was 300. So it's a very lucrative tournament. Great stuff, and that's all thanks to the sponsors. Chris, you have them here.
Yes, I do have the sponsors here. I want to say thank you to Tax Strategy Pro, David Rando, Mel's Commonwealth Cafe, Lighthouse Productions, Rhode Island, CNC Ice Cream Truck with 2 visits today, the Neighborhood Kitchen, Winthrop Wealth, and Daniel Castle.
Great sponsors as always. And here we got Heffernan on lane 18, JJ Tarigny on 19, and Mike Nardone on 20. Nardone, another one who's bowled very well today. As he gets the spare to fall there, that's a Millis spare all day. He threw a good ball, a little light, but Millis will give you those bounces. We talked about Josh Daly sitting at a 130 average. Mike Nardone also threw last game at a 130.5 average. So he's having himself a nice day here.
Yes, he has.
Heffernan's got a 121 average on the day. Jim Nestor with a 120. 117 for JJ. 117, JJ came into this with a 107 average. So he is 10 pins over his average on the day. So that's a way to win some of these handicap tournaments.
Yes.
At and over average.
Generally, I found if you pull 3 to 5 pins over your average in a handicap tournament, you will either place really well or win the tournament.
Exactly what it is, and this isn't all about average, because last year's winner was Marissa Ewing, who came in with high 80s average, and averaged probably 102 on the day, and that's all you got to do. Yeah, Mike Nardone is crushing it today, that's for sure. JJ misses a single for a 9 there, but he's sitting at a nice 83 through 7. Heffernan with a 81 through 7.
Nardone is 86 on a ball.
And that ball is just off to the left, but still gets a 7 drop for his troubles. 136 here. JJ with a nice head pin hit. Little full, but got the break. Just the 7 remaining. Does it go? Gave it a wiggle. Nardone a little light on the head pin. Just missed. Did not carry the 3.
JJ covers the 7-pin with wood.
Great spare there, and Heffernan looking for his spare. Wide left, did not carry the 1-3. Danny Finn, the guy that runs the Outrun the Bear, wandering by here. Try and get him over here on the mic at some point, talk about the tournament. Great 9 drop for Nardone. JJ on the fill. Again, off left, but a good break for 7. And not an easy spare by any means, but a makeable spare. Right on the money for Nardone. Heffernan's first ball here at the 9th.
Just off the head pin, leaves the 4 horseman right with the 7-pin.
JJ was just off there. And we're going to go a little bit higher, see if we can get over some of these balls. Somebody like JJ's a little tall, so you might not be able to see the pins on everyone. Lost connection there. Oh, loose cable. Hold on 1 second, guys. It's up. Not slack. We're going to bring it back down. Need it back? It's not recognized. All right. Still a little loose. Let that pop it back in.
Yep, we're working on that connection right now.
Log out of the computer.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. Had to unplug and replug.
Yeah, so we will not be going any higher because we lost slack on the cable. So Candlepin Corner is looking for donations to get us a longer cable. Heffernan filling his spare with a strike in the 10th for a 119. Salvaged a 119 out of that. So hopefully it's not as high a cut for him as it was last game, but that's going to be a tough one. He's getting 12 handicaps, so 131 with handicap. We got a JJ Tarigny with the 119. He is getting 18, so he's at a 137.
Jim threw a 139.
I believe that is Mike Nardone with the 139. Yeah, Jim Nestor's up now.
Okay.
Mike Nardone with the 139. He's getting 12 pins. So 151 for Nardone there. So right now, 151, a 137, and a 131 for Heffernan are the top three. Jim Nestor here is at a 73 half. Grabs his 10 there, so 83 through 6. And Jim Nestor's getting 21 pins. So it's going to be tough for Heffernan to survive this one with how well some of these bowlers are going right now, and only 3 making the cut after this game. Jim Nestor with a strike there. What a leave there on lane 19. Buries the pocket, leaves the entire back row.
And there is a link to the Google Doc we've been following along with all day that's available on Candlepin Chat, as well as the Outrun the Bear page. The scores have already posted for Game 10, so right now, Brian Heffernan with a 131. JJ with a 137. And Mike Nardone with a 151.
So again, this will be cut down to 3 bowlers after this, unless Jim Nestor is one of the ones eliminated. Then it will stay at 4, if pending he uses buyback.
Which at this point I would assume he would use his buyback.
Yes. Bowlers, we'll get the scores on here. We're going to do our best because there's only so much room you get on a stream screen. So we're going to try and get our scores updated as we go in the final. Yeah, the last couple are cut off, Justin. We're trying to get it as clean as possible. I can shift a little bit, depending if we don't unplug anything again. How's that? Hopefully that's a little bit better. Get a little more view. We can't see the bowler delivering, but you can see at least the lanes here. And then we'll shift back to 19 and 20 will be the primary lanes for the finals.
You're welcome. Jim Nestor a little too full in the head pin.
Alright, so looking here, it looks like that 119 by Heffernan will not hold up. We have 128 through 9. We have the 139 game. JJ's 119 has a higher handicap. So it looks like Heffernan will be out.
I got proof to send that to Facebook Live.
The other bowler's out. Another
big strike.
There on the 10th. Wow.
This ain't over. I'm bowling Diedrich now.
Oh, that's not right. some reason, Facebook showed us as disconnected, so we were a little bit nervous there. Another 119 up there. What's the handicap difference? Because that may be tough for JJ there. 148 there on lane 20. That's a safe score right there. 148, 139, both safe. 3 119s.
148 plus his 21 handicap would put him at 169. I'm going to guess that 120 something is not going to be a good cut. It's not going to be the cutoff this game.
We do have a double on lane 18, so a triple strike alert here on lane 18. That will give him a half a share of Kendrick Payne's current triple strike. And also set him at a 115.
Oh!
And it should have been a triple, but that stubborn pin did not want to fall. Still a great 29 box in the 10th for a 114 game. Keep refreshing this page so we can get you guys up-to-date scores and where the cut will be. You may hear the booming voice of Danny Finn over the PA system before we get there. Right now it's a 151, 147, 137, but we know we have that 148 there with a 21 handicap. I will say, get out there, Candlepin Bowl. It's fun. Summertime's here, but these houses get a little quiet. So go, take your friends, take your family. Go out to Candlepin Bowl, whatever local center. Keep them going, because without us going to visit these centers, we lose more and more every month. So make sure we support these businesses, because most of them are small businesses. Great for kids. A lot of arcade games. Typically a cheap night out.
Are you saying I'm a cheap date?
Like we're missing one score, 51, 47, and then I think that'll be a 169 for Nestor, so that'll be the top three. Jim Nestor with a 169 handicap, 151 from Mike Nardone, and a 147 from Nate Walker should be your final three. Waiting for that to be official. That is the unofficial results. Unfortunately, Brandon would not make it, Justin. He is at a 92 game with this 24 handicap, 116, so that will fall short. Looks like the cut is going to be 147. So that is two 140 cuts in a row. That's what happens when you get down to the nitty-gritty here at these last couple. That gets a high cut. Again, waiting on official word on that.
To advance the next round without using a buyback, you must have bowled a 147 or better. That's a 147 or better.
That is the official cut there. 147 is the cut. That means we'll have Nate Walker, Mike Nardone, and Jim Nestor. We're final three here. So here's the scenarios. We're going to get a little zoomed in, getting things cleaned up, and we'll go over the scenarios. Chris will put the names in here. We're going to keep you guys up to date on the scores, and then Mike put Nardone, N-A-R-D-O-N-E. So here's the scenario. Jim Nestor has his buyback still. If he wins this round, it is over. Jim Nestor wins this round, Jim Nestor wins the whole thing. If Mike Nardone or Nate win this round, Jim, again, presumably will use his buyback and have another shot at first prize, which is $2,500. So this could be the last round. This could be the second to last round. We're going to get you squared up here on lanes 18, 19, 20. Chris will be keeping the scoreboard up to date as we go. I'm going to get a little zoom for you, and we'll be underway. Calling this play-by-play. We'll kind of try and keep up with the action, but it will be fast and furious with 3 lanes going.
That's Tournament Director Danny Finn right there. Nardone, Danny needs you. Danny needs you. NFL coin toss rules.
So what Danny's going over right now, we can hear him from back here. What we told you already. If Jim Nestor wins this round, the tournament is over. He's the top prize winner, $2,500. If Mike Nardone or Nate win, Jim again will presumably opt to use his buyback, and we'll have one more round. Before we start, we're gonna just jump to our sponsors real quick, one more time, and we'll get back before the action starts. So thank you to all those sponsors there. We're about to get underway. Nardone is going to get things started on lane 20. First ball, just off left. 4 horsemen plus the 7 pin. Jim is way off right, but carries a bunch. Gets a good little mix. Makeable spare there for him. Nardone cuts outside, just leaves the 7. Great shot there from Jim Nestor for a spare. And a 10 for Nardone. Again, Mike Nardone has had a 130 average throughout the turn, 131.4. His lone hiccup was a 109 in Game 7 that caused him to use his buyback.
Scoring has been very high today.
Light on the head pin there, but again, decent carry. The wood's sitting okay. That backwood falls off. Makes it a little tougher, but makeable spare for Nardone. 5 fill for Jim. It's a 4 horseman plus 5. Nardone with a great bid there, just leaves the 5 pin. Jim just off to the right, leaves the head pin Worcester, 1-5.
It's amazing how easy the half Worcester is to make when it's a full rack, but when you're staring at the head pin Worcester, say, without the other pins around, how difficult it is to make.
Oh yeah, they look about 1 inch tall when you get that. Just off to the right, 4 and 8 bucks. So the handicaps are not up on the board. We're going to run through them real quick. Mike Nardone is getting 12 pins, Jim Nestor is getting 21, and Nate Walker is getting 28. Another good break there for Nardone, just leaves the corner pins on the right side. Nice 8 drop. Jim Nestor, still just off the head pin left. Nardone for a spare. Just hits the cap of that piece of wood and it bounces around. Only one gets taken out.
The scores are now current with handicap.
Thank you, Chris. Pull up here in case we're getting some comments here. How many bowlers left? 3 or 4. Justin, we have 3 bowlers left right now. Good 10 there for Jim Nestor. Nardone just off the head, but these guys got to be getting gas. It started at 10 a.m. A lot of these bowlers got here at 9 or 9:30, but we had 10 a.m. first ball. We're at 8 hours of bowling here. Jim Nestor just off to the right. Nardone, one of those balls he threw away, felt it as soon as it left his hands. Good bit on the spare there for Jim. Just leaves a 7. Nardone looking for a big out. Just plucks 1. Or tough 7 bucks. So again, the scores we are showing include handicap. Thanks to Chris updating those. A 10 bucks there for Jim. This is not the ball Nardone has thrown all day. Again, off to the right.
That's why.
64. Great ball there from Jim Nestor. That leaves 5-7. Nardone back on the headband. Still a little bit light. Only plucks a few there. Looking for another big out here. Regardless of how he finishes, Mike Nardone has to be happy with how he bowled here today. Nobody wants to not finish the job. Coming into a tournament, having a 131 average on the day, it's pretty impressive. Nestor shooting the 5-7. Oh, almost came back, got it a little bit inside. Wanted to go outside on it to push that wood over. Came inside and left the 7. Yes, Justin, the third bowler will be bowling alone on lane 20. So unfortunately, he drew the short straw and has to pace himself. But there are 2 bowlers on lane 20, only 1 on 19. Nestor with a 9 there for a 52 half scratch. Makes that a 73 half for Jim Nestor and a 58 half for Mike Nardone.
So Justin, Nate will be up on lane 20 by himself, as Corey stated.
So we'll see how this pressure deals with Nate. Some guys do better or worse by themselves. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll give Chris the call for Nate Walker here.
Oh, okay. That's a good start.
Great start there for Nate. Nice mix off the head pin. Looking for a double. Just leaves the 10.
9 drop on the strike. Good 10 pin with a plank in front of it. This should go.
Adding up these handicaps, or maybe some inconsistencies. We're going to do our best here. Great second ball, but no action.
Might try to play the wood on the left, kick it over. Does exactly that. On the head pin, on the pocket, leaves a diamond left. The 2, the 4, the 5, and the 8. No wood to help him. And he's on the diamond. Oh, leaves the 8 pin, and to quote the famous Don Gillis, diamond wins again. Off to the right for a 9 box.
So we'll just say Nate has the hottest start of the 3 bowlers so far and the best handicap. So that speaks volumes to how he's handling right now in the moment.
It's on the. Ooh, light hit leaves the diamond left with the 7 pin and the 10 pin to the right. Oh, nice bid. Lee takes everything but the 10. Did kick a piece of wood over, but it was a little too far in front of it.
A three-way match like this, pinning is everything, so this 10 could play huge.
It's off to the left of the 10 pin for an 85.
Looks like it's an 84.
Yeah.
So he's got a 56 on the board, 20. Yes, 84.
Okay.
So those are correct. Jim is getting 21.73. Nardone is getting 12, so he's at a 58. So Nardone is way behind the 8 ball here. Needs a big half here. So again, these do include their handicaps already. So let's see how Mike Nardone starts the second half here. If we can get things rolling. First ball still stays off left. A decent break if we can get that one to fall. Just the 110 remains. Jim Nestor's first ball off to the left. Uses the 1-3-6. Nardone for the spare. Just a little full, couldn't get the 10 to carry. Yes, I'm not sure, Justin, why they opt to go there. I think it's just to kind of get it all to 2 lanes, as they've been trying to consolidate lanes all day. But I do agree, there is an added benefit to knowing what you need in bowling last. Both bowlers with a 9 there. So we're at 67 for Nardone and 82 for Jim Nestor. Nardone's first ball. Again, off. He can't seem to locate the headpin like he has been all day. Still a makeable spare. We can get that inside the headpin. Jim Nestor, and both bowlers just can't find the headpin like they've been doing all day. So this is Nate's game to take advantage and at least make himself into a play match with Jim Nestor. There it goes. There's one for Nardone. Gets the pin to carry. He is going to need a couple more of those with a few boxes left. And Nestor with a great bid. The pin goes over, but just falls off the deck before he hit the 7 pin. Of course, again, Nardone and Nate both have to win. Either one of them lose, they do not have a buyback. And this is technically going down to 1. The only way it goes to another round is if Jim loses, he does have his buyback.
Jim misses the 7 pin off to the left.
Clearing out the gutter there. A lot of tripping up with this automatic scoring. Have to pause it. And I'm old school. I like my CompuScore at Academy lanes. I can manually put my score in without having to keep it on paper.
Same with Webster Timberlanes over in Abington.
And Ian, you are spot on. Not all bowlers like to bowl by themselves. Nardone's Phil. Finally finds the headpin, but gets a split for his troubles. 2, 4, 7, and 3.
What happens when you lose, too?
2, 4, 7, and 6. I'm sorry. Looking to shoot it over. 6 Phil. Oh, he gets outside of it.
Nice shot by Nardone.
Great shot there. It's exactly what he needs to get himself going here.
I'll try to root for him to be wrong.
Because he wants to be beaten with a hurry.
And Nestor looking to match with a spare, and again shoots his pin over, but the 7 doesn't carry. Nardone playfully to the crowd, telling them to calm down, getting out of there. Hey, we're trying to stream you, Dietrich.
1 plus 2.
Nardone looking for another fill here in the 8. Oh, goes outside, but a good break again. 6 fill off the 2 pin. Jim Nestor looking to get something going and give himself a shot here, but he does have his back in his back pocket. And there he goes. Finally breaks up the split. Just a 2-pinner to shoot at. Nardone looking to make this mark. And does not hit the head pin. Leaves it up there. Nardone needs every pin. Jim just cherries that. Just off. Again, the pressure's not on Jim as he does have the buyback. Nardone with a big 10 there. Put him at 109 through 9 with his handicap. Jim cleans up his 10 for a 111 through 9. Again, it's looking like Nate right now doesn't need to have a huge half based on the way he started. Lose the 3-pin there on 20, so we get a reset for Nardone in a very big 10 box for him. He needs a mark here. Double would play huge to put the pressure on Nate. But realistically, with Jim having his buyback, it's a 2-man race to see who can take first. Off, gets the pins to come back in.
Even spare strike would put pressure on the other two bowlers.
Every single pin. He needs to beat Jim. If he loses to Jim, which he's down 2 right now, it doesn't matter what Nate does.
They got 111 on the silver.
And he's off the head pin again, leaves the head pin standing. And for his 10, he gets it. That'll put him after his handicap. That'll put him at a 119.
It's all the money I didn't win today, guys.
Welcome Josh Daly with the 130 average on the day.
Yeah.
Won $3. Good for him.
There you go. Money.
All right, so there we go. Nardone with the 109 with his, I'm sorry, no, 119 with his handicap. Jim Nestor with a 117 with his handicap. So Nardone did beat Jim, but Nate only needs a 36 half. 36 half, 5 boxes, 36 pins to force Jim Nestor to use his buyback. Passes over to Chris.
Nate's already up to a
Final
decent start.
boxes.
Sorry, Corey.
117. That Daly guy, yeah, boo that Daly guy. Josh Daly again. We'll have to calculate after Nardone's 107, but him and Nardone had definitely the top 2 averages today from what I've seen. 130 and 131 going into that for Nardone. Again, so all Nate needs is 28 in his final 4 boxes. Hashtag better than Danny is right.
9 drop there just made it a whole lot easier. Oh, off to the left of the 4-pin. Off to the right for a 9. Puts him at 101.
3 boxes to get 19 pins. Again, the beauty of a handicap tournament. We saw last year with Mercy Ewing. She was untouchable in these late rounds because of her handicap and how well she was bowling.
Big 9 drop for it in the 8th box. 7-pin with no wood. Ooh, off to the right. And drops the ball into the cutter for a 9 box. Leaves him at 110. He needs 10 pins over the next 2 boxes.
Barring something horrendous here, Nate Walker will win this round and force Jim Nestor to make a decision. I overheard somebody say that Jim was not planning on buying back.
Oh.
That's a strike. am receiving word from Danny that Nardone is finishing third, and then Nate and Jim will battle out for one string for the ultimate winner of the 2023 handicap Outrun the Bear. Nate with a 106 game scratch. Great job by him in the clutch moments. So now we're going to have a final showdown. Jim Nestor, Nate Walker. Final string. The winner takes home $2,500. $2,500. Yeah, we got the 7-pin spread. So actually, why don't we just do this? Give Nate 7 pins, since that's the difference. So Nate is basically starting with a 7-pin advantage for the difference, and give Jim 0. Yeah, just delete that. Make that easy. So Nate is starting with a 7-pin advantage. So Jim has to win by 8 pins to take home first prize. Finally used his buyback in the final rounds. No buybacks remain. Winner take all.
Yeah, Justin, don't have to worry about that. Danny just confirmed that he is buying back.
I think that might have been the conversation there was Nardone willing it along, as Nardone did unfortunately move from second to third because of the buyback. So he was just trying to will it over that it would happen. Getting the lanes all set up.
Of course.
I'll wait for confirmation. I'm not sure if they're going to switch after 5. As Danny walks by, it will be 5 on each lane. Then the bowlers will switch. So you'll get 5 strings on 19, 5 strings on 20 per bowler, and vice versa. So they are switching.
5 strings, 5 boxes.
5 strings. We'll be here all day. Why not? It's been a long day, Chris. I'm sorry. It's been a long day starting. You got here at 9. You did too. You were here before I was. But it's a long day. It's a great tournament. The house is amazing. So just for confirmation, 11 games. Mike Nardone wins. They did not put. They did put scores. 13-14 on the day for a 131.4 average. Even with a 107 at the end. 131.4 in 11 games. 123.4 average for Jim Nestor, and Nate with a 108 average on the day. First ball from Nate. Right in the pocket, but no luck. He leaves up. Wow, that is a tough break, but a piece of wood that could sweep over. Jim's first ball falls in for a backdoor strike.
Yeah.
Nate almost took it the tough way by flipping it around there, but for the 10, leaves up a 9 there. So with the strike, Jim is able to eat away at that handicap almost immediately with a decent fill. Great ball there from Nate. Should have been a strike ball. Leaves a single pin. He did have trouble with these in the last game. Let's see if he can capitalize here. Jim with another great head pin hit. Leaves the triangle with a friendly piece of wood. Nate for the spare. Right on. Looking to capitalize. All over it. 20 after 1, 30 after 2 plus a ball for Jim. 19 plus the ball for Nate. Here's the fill. Just off and a lemon drop somewhere. Paul Grant sees that and is going to be having his hand out for $1. Oh, it was on a fill. That would be 5. Jim with a big fill here. Just off the head pin. 4 fill. 8-second ball comeback. Just off the head pin, leaves the 4 horseman right. Needs that for a big 10 here. Jim back on the head pin, just a little full, can't get it all to carry. Break up to at least have a shot at the 10. 8 just off to the right, 8 bucks. And Jim kept his 10. So through 3, we are with Nate's 7-pin advantage, 44-35. Nate is chasing 9 with 7 boxes to go. Plenty of room here. And not a great first ball, but gets it to break a working ball, as they say.
It was a 1-3-9.
Jim back on the head pin. And not much to show for it. At the 5, 7, 10, the Susie special. Nate wide right. Friendly piece of wood for Jim. Let's see if it plays into effect. Oh, what a bid. Just leaves up the 10. Nate needs a big 10 here just to keep pace. He just throws it outside for an 8 box. And Jim just misses the 10 pin for a 9. So we have a 10 pin chase right now for Nate. He needs a mark here to sit and switch. Again on the head pin, very light. Rough lead there off a head pin hit. It was a light head pin hit. With the wood, it's makeable, but let's see what Jim does with his first ball in the pin. Off to the right, but very friendly for Jim. Just leaves the 1-2.
I know, I saw that.
Nate goes way right through. Needs a huge out here.
Oh, chops the head pin off the 2.
Little light on that. That was usually if you're outside, you're taking it. Great 9 box there for Nate.
Danny.
Danny. Jim had a 9. I'm sorry, Nate had a 9. Yeah, there's only 1 pin left. Yeah.
I'll get the score eventually, folks. Sorry.
All right, back final 5 boxes. Nate is chasing 11 pins here. Half Worcester's never something you want to see, especially in a moment like this.
No. Nice bid from Jin, leaves the 10 pin. Oh, through the bunny hole. Needs to pick up some pins here.
Did drop in the gutter, so that will not count for Jim. The 9 box there for him. Leaves him at 72 through 6. And an enormous out for Nate.
With that out, he just closed the gap to 11. He will need a mark. Jim just off the head pin, leaves the 1-2-7-10. Nate with a nice ball. Drops a strike. Timely.
Great bid there from Jim. Just going to get the 7. He will get one more ball.
Jim waiting for the wood to settle down. Chops it.
Over, wow. That wood hopped all the way over the 7 pin. Puts him at an 81. Nate still has some work to do, sitting at 71 plus 2. But a strike is a great way to get ahead.
Similar lead for Jim on this. He leaves the 1, 2, 7, 8, 10. Nate
Oh, and a double.
in the pocket with a double.
That was a no-doubter.
Jim with just same try, same bid, different result, leaves a 10 pin. Cleans up the 10 pin for a 10.
Jim needs to make a move now if he wants to get back in this. Or just get a great break.
Leaves the 1, 9. He does have some wood. He's got to avoid the cap next to the head pin though.
As they say, that's why they give you 2, but a 3 on his first double puts him at 23 pins in the 7th, at 77 through 7 with his 84 with his 7 pins.
Oh, chops the head pin off the 9. Tough break.
Big ball here for Nate to make sure he can get back into Jim's level. And a 6 fill on his second strike. 100. Looking for a big out here. Great 9 there. 109 through 9 to 100 for Jim. 10th box. It all comes down to this. $2,500 to first, $1,800 to second. We have $700 on the line right here.
Jim leaves the 1, 3, 7, 8, 10.
Just off the head pin in a big moment. Wood sits nice, we can make it. That 10 pin carried for Nate, leaving him just a 2-pinner left. A great, great break for him there.
Oh,
And Jim does not get the shot to go, which means that Nate Walker will be your 2023 handicap Outrun the Bear champion. See if he can put a star on top of this Christmas tree. Big 10 for Jim. Nate with a victory lap fill here. He is already at a 119 with the 7 pins he's getting. He has one. Let's see what he fills it with. Why not 10 of them?
Hey!
What a picture-perfect ending there for Nate Walker, your 2023 handicap Outrun the Bear champion. Some of the bowlers we had here today, Nate Walker stayed under the radar, but that's the beauty of this tournament. You don't have to be the best each round; you just can't be the worst.
right.
And Nate stayed there all day, used his buyback towards the end. I want to say, I'm going to take a look. I think it was just in the last few games he used his buyback for the first time. Came here, Jim had the buyback in his pocket. That was it. Yeah, Nate Walker here ends up with a 110 average at the end of the day. 110 average, ran his way through, used his buyback in the 9th game and a 98 game. then won game 11 over two of the better bowlers this tournament, and then a 129 game 12 for him, 12-11 on the day, 110 average. Some great bowling today, and a great job there at the end by Nate Walker. Chris, thank you for all this coverage today. You have been absolutely amazing. Appreciate you being down here, and what a day here at Ryan's Family Amusement in Millis.
Yes, it has been a great day. Great bowling all day.
Yeah, no, it's just, again, a couple 130 averages, a lot of 120 averages, and none of that mattered because when the time came up, it was Nate Walker and his 110 average on the day that came up. And the biggest moment, again, we talked to Justin in the chat here about him bowling by himself in game 11. Didn't phase him. He almost won scratch. Nardone beat him scratch by a pin, but what handicap took it. And then here, just no doubt left. 122 scratch, beat Jim scratch there by 12 pins. Got another 7 there. It's a great performance there by Nate Walker.
Amazing job.
We'll read the sponsor one time, Chris, if you still have them there available. If not, we can play the video. And I'm going to try to get Danny Finn here to just kind of comment on today and what his thoughts are.
I want to say one more thank you to Tax Strategy Pro David Rando, Mel's Commonwealth Cafe, Lighthouse Productions Rhode Island, the CNC Ice Cream Truck, the Neighborhood Kitchen, Winter Wealth, and Daniel Castle. Now, over to you, Corey.
All right, we got Danny Finn here, the runner of the tournament, him and his wife, Kate, and the staff here at Ryan's Family Amusements run a great tournament. Danny, what's your thoughts on this year's tournament?
It's another great event. You know, you have a guy like Nate that, you know, I don't think a lot of people outside of Mohegan probably know. And he comes in here, and I think now everyone's going to know his name. So, big day. We got to see some new names, really take a lot of force and, you know, get some spotlight that they aren't used to getting, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, and like we said, there was a couple 130 averages. Didn't matter in the end. It's just consistent bowling. Nate, when it mattered most, came up big in the biggest moment, and then put an exclamation point with a spare strike in the 10th box to finalize its scratch. Didn't even need his handicap there. But a great day for Nate. Great day for all the bowlers. Shout out to Nardone and Daly for their 130 averages on the day.
Absolutely.
120 averages. And again, thank you to the sponsors making this possible. Thank you to Chris Waterman for being here and covering all day.
And we'll run the sponsor video one more time before we sign off. So this is Chris Waterman.
Corey Elise here, and congrats again to Nate Walker. And thanks to these sponsors.